Hello there. Here we are again from market to table with a lot of nice things to do for your holidays. We have all kind of pumpkin and turkey things and even treats for the dog. You know how the dog always begs at supper time or at meal time, so we have Pupcakes also. But I have a turkey pot pie and a pumpkin pie cake. And Sarah, who is with me today, has pumpkin chocolate chip gobs that are amazing. So, I will start with my leftover turkey, making into a turkey pot pie. Now, all what you need naturally is a pie pan, and it's so simple. Frozen, we have 1 2/3 cup frozen vegetables, and we just stick them right in the pie pan. Couldn't be easier than that. Then we also have our cut up, 1 cup of cut up turkey, and you put that in also.
Always looking for something to do with those leftovers, right?
That's it, exactly. And this way too, it's just one pan that you're messing around with. And you just stir those up to mix them so that they're mixed through. Oh, some of my pieces are pretty big in here. That's okay, you need meat in your pot pies. Then you have your can of condensed chicken soup. And you mix that in with it. And you can use any kind of, any brand of the chicken soup. I use the Essential because it is a little bit cheaper, and if you're on a budget, and Essential brand is just as good as the Campbell's. And we mix it all together so it's nice and creamy.
I love that there is no mixing bowl to clean with this recipe.
Well, you do have one later on, but it's just one little mixing bowl. And that's to use with your Bisquick. And you can use the same spoon for all of it. And the Bisquick is in here, and I put it in earlier to break up any of the lumps. And it's just 1 cup of the Bisquick, or you can use any baking powder or baking mix that you have. And we use 1/2 cup milk, and watch me spill it all over everything. Oh, my lid really stuck. 1 cup of milk and 1 egg. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And you just mix it, and it's easy. You can just mix that by hand. Just mix it up very well. And you just use the small bowl. Get it all mixed up. And then guess what? All what you do is pour it over that in the pie pan and bake it.
I think I definitely would have felt like I needed to do a bottom crust, so I'm excited to see you not do one because then you just scoop it out. It's that much less effort, and I'm gluten-free. And since you're using Bisquick, there's gluten-free Bisquick.
Exactly. So you can enjoy your leftover turkey in a gluten-free manner, and just pour it over. And I spread it out a bit, so that it's covered the whole way over. And then you bake it for 30 minutes. And when you're done, it comes out like this.
That looks wonderful.
And I only have 1 bowl. Okay.
And I know sometimes when we have leftovers, it's like if you just replate everything the way you had it 1 or 2 days ago, the kids are like, nah.
Yeah.
But you can take the leftovers from chicken or turkey or whatever, and you do this, and they think it's like an absolutely completely different meal.
This is it,
and
exactly.
so they have no idea that this was the same meat that they ate 1 or 2 days ago. So that's great, and it's nice and easy. And
yes, and
that looks great. I'm excited to try that.
Or mess with it.
Yeah,
and it's just something in 30 minutes you can have supper.
Thank you. That looks so great. I'm excited to try it.
Now we're going to have our gobs.
Yes, so gobs, also known as whoopie pies. I'm making pumpkin chocolate chip ones, and I found this recipe on Tasty. I like that website because they show you a video of them making it, and I always like to see what everything is supposed to look like before I try to tackle it in the kitchen, especially with baking. I've not had much success with baking, but we had a lot of success with these. My kids and I made them last night. We made one gluten-free version and one regular version, and they baked up beautifully regardless of how we did them. So the first thing we're going to do is the cookies. And the cookies end up more with like a cake-like consistency. If you've ever had whoopie pies or gobs before, it's more like 2 little cakes with icing in between. So we start out with 2 cups of brown sugar, and I'm going to add a cup of vegetable oil. Now, I am using grapeseed oil. Grapeseed oil is a wonderful oil for baking because it does not have flavor like an olive oil, but it is purer and healthier for you than like a generic actual one that's labeled like vegetable oil, where sometimes you're not even sure the origin of that. And sometimes it's corn, which is not a vegetable.
Right.
So if you're looking for it to be a little bit healthier of an option, the grapeseed oil is a really, really good option, but doesn't add the flavor that like an olive oil might to your baking.
Can you get the grapeseed oil at any grocery store?
Yes.
Very good. Okay.
All right, so we're going to combine. We're going to mix this, our brown sugar and our oil. I always like recipes that we use the beaters multiple times because my kids, of course, fight over, got a runaway egg, fight over the beaters, and you know, you did it longer than I did, and you know, we end up with stuff mixed up too long. But this recipe, you get to use them a couple times, so that's a plus in my family. Is my other egg running away too? Okay.
Well, it was vibrating.
It was trying to run away. All right, we got to secure the eggs. Okay, so next we're going to do our 2 eggs so they can stop running away. All right, then we are going to do a can of pumpkin, and I also love the Essential Everyday.
Exactly.
If you check, ingredients are exactly the same.
That's it.
And it's way more
economical.
Yes. And frugal, right? Smart living. Okay, so we're just going to add a whole can of pumpkin puree. Make sure you don't get pumpkin pie filling because you are going to add your own spices. Although if you wanted to skip, if you wanted to try to make it faster, you could probably try adding the pumpkin pie filling instead of just the pumpkin puree. But this is just 100% pumpkin.
Well, now, too, you could make your own after you cut out the pumpkin.
Baby steps, baby steps. You gotta work with me in baby steps here. Baby steps.
Well, I
saw some videos where, you know, they cut off the pumpkin and, you know, they cut the top off it right, and I'm like, oh, I don't know. I'm not ready. I'm not ready for that.
Some of the pumpkins I saw decorated and cut out this year are amazing.
Yes.
I would not have the patience to do that, nor the ability, I'm afraid.
There are some really creative ideas out there now.
Yes.
So I pre-mixed my dry ingredients. So what's in here is 3 cups of flour, and we actually used stone ground whole wheat. So you can use any type of flour. We did a gluten-free flour at home last night. This is a stone ground whole wheat flour. It just has more of the grain intact, so it makes it better for you, slows down your body's processing of it, so it's not like a sugar rush, especially with all the sugar that you're seeing in this recipe. It's just better for you. So we did stone ground whole wheat, 3 cups of flour, a teaspoon of baking soda, a teaspoon of baking powder, a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice, and a tablespoon of cinnamon. Now, some people who commented on the thread for the recipe said that they liked it better with a little bit more pumpkin pie spice in it. They felt like it wasn't quite pumpkin-y enough. So if you like a strong pumpkin flavor, I definitely think you could get away with doing, 2 teaspoons or 3 teaspoons of the pumpkin pie spice.
Right.
It wouldn't overdo it. It would not be overkill.
I'm so glad that you're using the mixers with just the wires. Being old, my mixer's old also. I have, those strips, not just the wires, but those look like they mix so much faster.
Oh, you'll have to bring it in and show me what you're talking about. I'm not even sure I know what
I
you're
did.
talking.
It was one of those when I had in here that time that the electricity did not work.
Oh.
Yeah. Yes, it went way back.
Okay, then there were also mixed reviews about whether or not people wanted the chocolate chips in them. Some people just wanted it to be pumpkin, and that was it. But if you like chocolate, like we do in my family, then you can add a cup of chocolate chips to your cookie batter.
I think that would make it much better.
Right, like when does chocolate not make something better?
That's it.
Right? Okay, so you're just going to mix it up so that every cookie has some chocolate chips in it. All right, so this is...
you don't want to fight over them. My cookie has more chocolate chips than your cookie.
Right. Mm-hmm. That never happens in my house, ever.
Right.
I'm pretty sure I just heard it last night.
Your kids
So it's like,
have to be
here, you
normal.
grab the, here, have 2 more. There you go. Shove them in the cookie, right? All right, so there's our batter. So all you do with this is you can drop it 2 tablespoons full at a time onto your cookie sheet, or you can put it in a baggie or a pastry bag and just take them out. But I flatten them out on top just because half of them are going to be bottoms. So you don't want them, you don't want anything that like ends like sticking up at the top that is going to be up, because then they won't sit flat. So just make sure you do them flat.
You can't very well put 2 rounded edges together.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So you put them in a 350-degree oven for 10 to 12 minutes, and it depends on the size you make them. Now, when I was growing up, I had a college roommate whose mom would send gobs, and they were this big. So that's how big I made mine last night. And mine took about 25 minutes in the oven to bake.
Oh, yes.
But it was worth it. Now, my daughter, who's 12 and smarter than I am, made them the proper size that they were supposed to be, so they only took 12 minutes. So these are my daughters that she made. Mom's were huge. So this is how they turn out, and you'll see after we make one. I'll pull it apart or cut it or something, but they're more of a cake-like consistency. And then so you will just let them cool while you make the icing, and I'm going to do that for you in just a second, but I'm going to pass it back over to Lillian to do your next one for us.
Now, a lot of people do not like pumpkin pie. Believe it or not, I'm one of them. Pumpkin's okay, but yeah, pumpkin pie,
not your thing.
No. I might eat 1 piece of pumpkin pie at Thanksgiving. However, I found a pumpkin pie cake that you have both, and so it's not too bad. So what we do is we start out, you need a large mixing bowl and you need a large can of the pumpkin puree. So we have that. And we will scoop it out into the bowl. And I cheated. I used the Libby's because I had that can at home, so I was not going to go ahead and get an essential.
Right. Oh,
one.
don't go buy new if you already have one.
That's it.
For
It was
sure.
in my cupboard, so I figured I would use it. Okay, so we have that. Then we need evaporated milk. And I do have the essential evaporated milk because I did not have a can of evaporated milk. So I got the essential milk. And if you want, you can already stir that to get it sort of blended a little bit. Then we need 3 eggs. So I have the eggs here. And I'm not going to let my eggs run away either. I'm going to put them in right away. And of course, I'm using just the medium eggs. You don't have to use the large eggs. So whatever eggs are on sale, and usually you will find around the holidays that eggs will be on sale because of people doing baking. So we mix the eggs and the puree and the powder and the canned milk. You mix them as well as you possibly can. Make sure that your yolks are broken. And I always like to use a wooden spoon. And of course I could use a mixer, but I don't know. There's something about the holidays, just when you mix it by hand, makes it more homey, I think. Of course, unfortunately or fortunately, whichever way you want to look at it, I don't have any little kids or grandkids to help. All my grandkids have 4 legs and are covered with fur. So, yeah, I mean, what can I say? And I also pre-mixed for this occasion my dry ingredients. There's 1 cup of sugar, 1 teaspoon salt, pumpkin pie spice, 4 teaspoons full of pumpkin pie spice. So, and that way, I like to do it that way too, because if there's any, I missed that one, lumps in your sugar, you can break it up when it's in the pan, rather than you having to worry about breaking it up as you're mixing it. And basically, this is all what you do with this. Then,
another easy one.
Yes. Hey, I'm for easy around the holidays especially. It's about the only time, and lately I haven't even had to cook because I've been invited out for dinner, which makes it nice.
That is nice.
Oh yes. The only bad thing about that is you don't have leftovers. And my pan, don't use a pie pan, you use a regular cake pan. And I have already greased it. And you just pour all of your pumpkin into your pie pan. Then, and this is the fun part, You take a yellow cake mix, any kind. I have Duncan Hines here, yellow cake mix, and you just sprinkle the cake mix over the top of your pumpkin. Come on. And now, this has a little bit of pumpkin on, but it won't hurt. You just spread it over your entire pumpkin puree in the pan. See, I'm for simple.
Yes.
And it works out so nicely. Then, we're not done yet, because after you get it all spread out there, you take melted butter, you have 1 2/3, I believe it is, no, sorry, 3/4 of a cup. So it's like 1 stick and a half. And you pour the melted butter all over your cake mix. Now it calls for walnuts, and I did not have any walnuts. So I put almonds on the one that I made at home. But this is all that it is, and I'm not putting any nuts on this one because I'll bake this one off for my daughter, and my daughter has a nut allergy. So you can use the nuts if you want.
Yeah.
All what you do then is bake it at 350 for an hour. And you have a beautiful looking cake. And this one is done with the almonds.
That is beautiful.
Okay. All
Very
right,
nice.
now make your icing.
All right, so we're gonna make our icing, our filling for our whoopie pies. So the recipe actually only calls for 8 ounces of cream cheese, which would be 1 package, and a 1/2 cup of butter, which would be 1 stick, but we like icing in my house, okay? So we double it. So we're doubling it. We don't like to skimp on our icing. So you can just do 1 cream cheese, 1 butter. We're doing 2 today. All right, so just fully combine your cream cheese and your butter. And then the original recipe is just 1 cup of powdered sugar, but we will do 2. I have the essential
Now,
everyday
why-
powdered sugar too.
Why do 2 cups?
I'm doubling it.
Oh,
I'm doubling
okay.
the recipe.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Yes, all right.
That's why I said we like icing in my house.
Well, yeah.
We do extra
I was
icing.
going to say it even looks good to eat it that way without the powdered sugar. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, oh yeah, cream cheese and butter.
You know, you will find out, as I did, that once your kids leave, the same recipes make 3 and 4 times more than
Than they did when the kids were there,
That's
right?
right. Yeah, I use the same chocolate chip recipe, and I have chocolate chips everywhere now. And when the kids were home, I never had chocolate chips.
Right. I don't remember this many chocolate chips in the cookies because the kids ate half of them before
That's
you could bake
exactly.
it. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
But it was fun.
Yes, exactly, exactly. Okay, so then the normal recipe just has a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and we are going to do 2. I missed the little pour spout. It used to have the pour spout. I don't know what happened to that. How the vanilla extract for a while had the little pour spouts on
yes.
it. I don't know
And
why they
don't-
did
no,
away with
I
it.
know.
I thought that was
That
helpful.
Yes, it was.
Because my 5-year-old last night, you know, he's like wanting to be a step ahead of me, wanting me to be proud of him.
Well,
you know, and he's
certainly.
going like this, and I'm like, stop! Because it's just,
Hey,
like, we don't
vanilla's
have any more
good.
cream cheese. Don't you ruin my icing, son.
Hey, then eat it anyhow.
Right, right. Too much vanilla. What? No, if there's sugar in it, it doesn't matter.
That's right. And cream cheese.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we love cream cheese and butter are definitely staples in our house. That's for sure. Now you can see that my butter wasn't quite soft enough because we're pretty thick here right now. But we're making it happen. See how like a single recipe of this would not have been anywhere near enough for all those cookies? There's no way.
Not if you put any amount of icing in your cookies.
Right? Exactly. Okay, so that's it. The icing is very simple. So just cream cheese, butter, powdered sugar, vanilla extract. I'm gonna move this way so I don't trip on it. Okay. So what you can do then, you take your cookies and I flipped, you know, there's the cookie. I flipped half of them over and here's the other half. Now this makes, the recipe makes, oh, I want to say it makes 18 gobs. So, you know, I only brought some.
Sure,
but,
she wants
so you
to keep
can
the
either,
other one for herself.
No, we ate them.
Oh.
We ate them. They're gone. They're gone already.
Sorry
We ate
about
them.
that.
No, but yeah, I already had
And
them
she
to
didn't
myself.
invite
Yeah.
any of us over to eat them.
Hey, there are 6 of us. You guys, these are for whoever first grabs, first dibs. So yeah, first dibs. Okay, so you can put it in a pastry bag or you can simply just spoon it out. I'm hoping that mine comes out well. Yeah. And we're just going to pipe.
And see, now you don't have to go to the gym because you've got
Right.
your exercise and
Exactly.
squeezing. Yes.
Exactly.
Oh, look how pretty they look.
They are fun.
And you know, I think when you put the other piece on, you should also put more icing on the top.
You are my kind of gal.
Definitely. Hey, I didn't get this shape by skipping on icing.
All right, then you just top them. And I think, retrospect now, I'd probably use a larger tip to get a thicker amount of icing there.
Now, wouldn't it look cute if you would just put a little
A tiny little
gob
dab. You
on
want?
the
I'm going to do that just for you. You want
Oh,
a little gob
thank
on the
you.
top? All right. But then how do you eat it? Like a, you know, you're supposed to like,
But you lick that one off first.
are you licking? Okay.
No imagination.
There.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, doesn't that look nice?
Lillian is happy. I am happy. Yeah. Okay. So there is our completed product. There are our whoopie pies, gobs, whatever you want to call them. So
See that?
so fun. So fun.
Okay.
All right.
Now, I am not making these on the show. However, I have the finished product for you. You know how when all of this good stuff is there, your poor little dog is just sitting there with his tongue hanging out.
Staring at you.
He knows that he's not allowed to beg, but he's going to beg anyhow.
Making one eyebrow go up
So,
and then the other.
and hiding under the table and hope something drops.
Right.
So I made Pupcakes. And Pupcakes are edible for humans also because all what you need is 1 cup of flour, 1 egg, 1 teaspoon baking soda, 4 tablespoons of butter, 1/4 cup of peanut butter, 1/4 cup of pumpkin puree because pumpkin is good for dogs,
Oh,
and a half a
nice.
cup of water. And you mix it all up and you put it in the small muffin pans and you bake them for like 30 minutes. Well, 20 minutes, depending. And there you have your little Pupcakes.
Perfect
Even
little
with
puppy
fancy
treats.
little paper. Make sure you peel the paper off before feeding it to the dog.
Yes.
Okay?
Don't let the dog see it until you get the paper
That's
off.
right. So now we have everything. you
Great.
could want.
Let's put it all out here
All
so we can
right.
show it all off at once. Okay, so we have our turkey pot pie with your turkey leftovers, our pumpkin cake. because everybody needs pumpkin around the holidays, our Pupcakes
That's
for our
right.
furry friends, and our pumpkin chocolate chip whoopie pies. So we hope that you enjoy trying out some new recipes around the holidays, and we hope that you have many things to be thankful for at this time of year. And until next time, we'll see you at the market.